This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
And so we're all good?
Yes, we are set. Our levels are good.
Okay, great.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 180 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
You know, we're all kind of like one big family. And so to find out that the other actors really felt that whenever they walked in the room, I think that's been kind of the most touching part of it.
Are all these great words of inspiration, are they original Jat-isms?
I just think that's amazing, and I really want to thank you for doing that.
Oh yeah, why can't you gender bend the genie? That would be awesome. I would love that.
Whoa! Wow! Does it feel good to be out of there?
And so I'm going a very long way around to answer this question, but
What are some surprises that you've learned from some of them that maybe you can share with us?
and it'll be a show called Unboxed. I have not mentioned this anywhere, so you're getting an exclusive here. I'm feeling very talkative. You guys got me on a good day. And, of course, Obi-Wan loves skywalking through Neverland.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Hello, Skywalkers.
Listen! Up to Neverland!
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Wow. Oh,
You are skywalking through Neverland.
Hey, Skywalkers! Are you ready to talk some Star Wars, Disney, and hear some exciting news from James Arnold Taylor? Then we want to welcome you all to
Skywalking Through Neverland.
This is your fun-filled, positive Star Wars and Disney podcast that takes you through a tour through the many decades of fandom. I am Richard Wolosky, and now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife Sarah, who gave us a little tour right before we started recording the show today.
Yes, because we've gotten some stuff framed, and we're going through all our stuff from Star Wars Celebration and the last D23 Expo and the D23 Expo from 2015.
Yeah, the people at Hobby Lobby are really liking us right now.
Exactly.
I don't even want to say how much money we've spent on frames.
But you know what? It had to be done.
Oh yeah, I'm not complaining.
We had to get our nice Star Wars Celebration art prints from Lindsay and Matt Bush framed and on our walls, and now they are, and it's really exciting. And so I got to do my whole wall over here with, I've got the Ahsoka art print, and then right next to it, I've got a shadow box with a compilation of all the buttons and pins that were my favorites that are in a, what would you call that? Like a Mickey
Rebel symbol.
A Mickey Ears Rebel symbol, so that I put them there so that you have like a focal point. And then I have, of course, my Tangled, beautiful art with the lantern scene. And then another shadow box with my Tangled Golden Book that's signed by the artist. And I'm excited.
Yeah, our walls are very happy.
Yeah.
Oh, and then for you joining us on Facebook and YouTube, right behind us, probably next week, we're going to hang our Force Awakens.
Yeah, the
poster.
Drew Struzan.
The Drew Struzan poster we got at D23 2015.
Yes.
I was the last one to get this. They would run posters as you waited for them. Mm-hmm. They would print these one sheets. And I got the last one.
And I think if you go to our Facebook page, Skywalking Through Neverland, there is a video of it being printed. Do you remember taking that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So next week, we're going to replace our big banner flag with the new Force Awakens poster.
It's super exciting.
Yeah, these were exclusives. So it isn't like the one sheet you would find at the theater. These were the exclusives to D23.
Wow.
So excited to show everybody.
Well, you know what? We kind of got off track because we never really said hello to everyone who's joining us today. So hello, everyone, to our Star Wars and Disney family. And we have to start each and every show with a giant Wookiee hug to our family of Skywalkers who listen to the show every week. And all of you watching right now live on YouTube and on Facebook Live, well, you just got a tour of all the art we were just talking about. Also, Skywalkers, if you are joining us, we would love it if you tweet at us. We are at Skywalking Pod. And we just love it that you've joined us and are sharing the positivity about our collective adventure through fandom.
Now, we are recording this from Long Beach, California on August the 8th, 2017. And once again, it's a late night show. It's Skywalking After Dark.
Oh.
So, Minnie, tell everyone what time of night it is.
It's 9:56. Good night.
She's so happy to say goodnight.
That's why our Floridian friends are not with us, because it's 1 in the morning for them.
Wow, that's late.
Now, for us, we want to tell you what's coming up on this episode because we talked to James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan on Star Wars The Clone Wars and the Star Wars Rebels, and a myriad of characters. That's a good word, myriad. And for all you Heathers fans out there, that's one for you. A myriad of characters in The Force Awakens and Rogue One. But we're going to be talking with him all about the many shows he has on his YouTube channel, including the ever-popular Clone Wars Conversations.
Also on this episode, we talk with Swara Salih from the Beltway Banthas Podcast, and we're talking about the controversial casting of Disney's upcoming Aladdin live-action feature film. So he had some thoughts on this, and we were glad to welcome him on.
And we also have some shout-outs. Rob Dellinger's finally back from vacation, which means what, Sarah?
A Skywalker of the Week!
Rootin' tootin' right. And, hashtag Rich swears. I'm sorry.
What?
I said
Where
rootin'
did
tootin'.
you get rootin' tootin' from? Have you been watching Toy Story lately?
You know what? That could have been. Words just pop in my head.
I was watching Princess Diaries 2 lately.
Yeah, you were.
It was on TV. Okay.
Now, before we get into our big show, let's play another fandom highlight from our good friend all the way on the other side of the world in Australia, Alan R. Ryan from Ozfans Radio Network.
Hey there, folks. This is Alan R. Ryan, all the way from Australia, captain of the good ship Ozfans Radio Network, standing in the middle of the Australian bush as we speak. And what a place to talk about my thoughts on Star Wars. As I think Star Wars has a lot to do with nature. In particular, the direction of fandom and how it's going. It's natural. And if anything, one of the greatest parts of the natural progression of fandom itself right now is that how we dissect Star Wars. If you look at Star Wars as a whole, the greatest part of it is the conversations we have about what we think of characters, plots, mysteries, mythologies, everything. Explanations of the Force itself and where that heads. Star Wars is always best when we have characters like Chirrut Imwe who decipher the Force in their own way and use it not like the Jedi, but for themselves.
Thank you, Alan. Now let's find out what James Arnold Taylor has been up to. Lots of Jat exclusives coming your way, Skywalkers.
So buckle up and enjoy the ride.
In a world of millions of voices. One man will become many.
We are not alone out here.
Listen to my story.
I have a bad feeling about this.
What? Oh, great Scott! No need to panic.
Very
Captain
funny.
Just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Alright, we get it, blah, blah, blah.
Get ready for an adventure unlike any you've ever seen.
What is that?
Or heard.
My delicate ears can't take it no more.
Prepare yourself for laughter.
Tears.
And moments of neither. Get set for the voice to end all voices. The master of mouth, the king of characterization, the prince of pronunciation, the infinite impersonator, the architect of audibles, the noun of nouns, the one, the only. Is anybody buying this yet? Ladies and gentlemen, the best of the best. Please help me welcome to the stage every voice you've heard and will hear, including this one, is James Arnold Taylor.
A great man once said, "By the way, I guarantee someone is thinking about you in some way right now. Know that you mean something to this world, and know that your dreams can change it all for more than just you."
Do those words come from a great Jedi Master? In a way, yes. That great man is James Arnold Taylor, and he is back with us now.
Hey.
Hey, James.
How's it going? Well, that's very that's very flattering. That just was from one of my posts for Jet 365, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, and they're very addicting, I've got to say.
Well, you're very kind. Very kind to say that. Very kind to watch them and check them out. You know, I've just had a great time experimenting with my YouTube channel and experimenting with ways of encouraging people. You know, the book was certainly that when it came out a couple years ago when I wrote it for, based off of my social media, because, you know, social media, as you know, and you're both so involved in social media and interacting with your fan base, that there's a lot of negativity out there. So it was like, how can I put a negative and turn it into a positive? Because social media is almost looked at as a negative at some points. And so I thought, well, how can I be positive about it all the time and make all those negative people really unhappy? No. So I came up with the book and challenged myself to do that. And in so doing, we created JAT 365. And the rest is JAT history here.
Yeah, whenever someone says the name James Arnold Taylor, I seriously mean it when everyone smiles. Everyone perks up when they hear your name because they associate you with positivity. Aww. Now, are all these great words of inspiration, are they original Jat-isms?
Yeah, they are. I mean, as far as I know, hopefully I haven't stolen anything from anybody. I've certainly been inspired by many people and many writings, you know, everything from the Bible to C.S. Lewis or Tolkien or, you know, all these great Mark Twain, but I certainly am inspired by people, but I try not to copy anything. So you never know. You know, I was a comedian for many years, and that was always the big trick when you're doing stand-up comedy is to make sure you're not stealing a joke from somebody else. But sometimes you go, did I come up with that, or was that somebody else? And you have to question it. So, yeah, sometimes I question, okay, is that... Because I think a few days ago I read one where I went, hey, that's pretty good. And I kind of surprised myself. I was like, oh, that's not bad. Did I write that? Wow. So, you know, we all get inspired.
Great minds think alike. It's almost like when podcasters do the same show, same episode. It's like, wait a minute, we're covering that.
Right.
It's got to be frustrating.
There's so many podcasts.
Because you're like, honestly... You know? Yeah.
Yes, we all have our own spin on it, though. So
yeah, but yeah, we've been covering the Clone Wars micro series.
Oh yes,
and then Blast Points podcast also covered the Clone Wars micro series in the same week. Like, what are the chances?
Oh, you see, that's fascinating. And you know, the funny thing is we're going to talk obviously about Clone Wars Conversations because I know that's why you all wanted to chat. But I was doing one. I did a little sneak peek into the conversation here. I did one where I was the one being interviewed, and we had Amy Ratcliffe come in. Amy is great. Amy Ratcliffe is a wonderful, you know, vlogger and such. And so I thought, well, Amy can interview me because we know each other well, and she knows Star Wars so well. And I got to tell you, one of the things that we really talked a lot about, which was great, was the micro series. And it's great to see this kind of new love or a resurgence of the love for that series. So I'll have to go back and hear what y'all have been talking about, because what a great show that was, the Clone Wars micro series. It really started it all, and I don't know if we would have had Clone Wars without it.
Oh yeah, it was a good testing ground. And
definitely.
And speaking of Clone Wars, of course, you are the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Plo Koon, and of course, we can't forget Reiko Hardin. But now, let's really, like you had just said, talk about your YouTube channel empire, where we can find your new show, Clone Wars Conversations, where you talk one-on-one with your Clone Wars co-stars. Now, how did this idea come about?
Well, you know, originally it was going to be a show called Clone Wars Commentaries, and I was going to sit down with my castmates and watch episodes of the Clone Wars together and just do commentary on it, because there are no commentary tracks of any of us except for, I believe, the Savage Opress, Darth Maul, the story arc, the Night Sisters ones. There is, I think, on the DVDs, myself and Sam Witwer and Dave Filoni and Katie Lucas and all, we all sat down and did a commentary track for like 1 or 2 of the episodes. It was very special. So there were no commentary tracks, and I wanted to do that as a way of saying thanks to all the fans of Clone Wars and give them some new content for something that is old content. But the folks at Lucas, when I talked to them about it all, they asked me if I would consider not doing that. And I always want to respect their wishes as an ambassador to Star Wars. I think, their focus is Rebels, and they want to really emphasize what's going on there. And they're talking about maybe they'll do some commentary tracks for Rebels at some point. And so I guess they didn't want to deflect the focus. So I said, that's fine, but can I interview my friends instead? And they said, absolutely. So I said, okay, I'll make a little pivot, as we say. And commentary turned into conversations, and I didn't have to change the logo much. And it actually has ended up being, I think, a better show than what would have been fun watching us watch the show. But this is allowed for some really kind of deep, wonderful conversations, and also a chance to talk to some of the actors that didn't always play the regulars in the show. But we've had, Andrew Cascino, who was Saw Gerrera, and we've had Ben Diskin come in, Anna Graves, of course, the Duchess Satine is how we kicked it all off. I thought there's no better way to kick it off than with Anna, because, I could have, of course, gone big and done, Dee Bradley Baker as the voice of the clones, or Matt Lanter, Ashley Ecksteiner, Catherine Tabor, and all of them are going to be on. Don't worry. They're all being interviewed, set up. It's all going to happen. But the first one was Anna Graves, because I think that Obi-Wan has a special place for the Duchess, and I certainly do as well. And certainly some of my favorite episodes were the ones where Anna was in them. And so I've just had a blast doing that. I shoot that at I have a little YouTube studio that I've created not too far from my house. And so I have them all come out here, and we sit down and set the lights and turn on the mics and roll the cameras and just sit down and talk Clone Wars and Star Wars. And then I end up editing it all up and producing it and trying to get you, all episodes at least every week or every other week. Right now, I have about 7 more that have been shot and are ready to.
Wow.
I'm still editing them, but yeah, I haven't really talked about this anywhere, so you get a little exclusive here. So Sam Witwer is coming up next. We recorded those, and Sam and I sat down and talked, just for a little while, about 2 hours. So,
oh my God!
Yeah,
are you going to cut that up into a couple different episodes?
That's exactly it. Yeah, I'm going to, and so it'll be a 2-parter.
Sam must have been short on time.
Yeah, Sam doesn't usually have much to say when it comes to Star Wars, so we really had to stretch and try to get him to come out of his shell. No, it was great. And then I was fortunate enough to do the same with my dear friend Matt Lanter, Anakin Skywalker. So Matt and I talked for quite a long time as well. So I've got a 2-parter with Matt coming up. We've got a 2-parter with myself where, again, Amy interviewed me, and I talk everything from Obi-Wan to Plo Koon to Reiko Hardin and O.C. Sobek and beyond, and the micro series. And we have Catherine Tabor coming up soon. I've got... I've got, an episode from Jason Spizak, who is the voice of Lux Bontari. And he, of course, was the fellow that, had eyes for Ahsoka Tano. So we had some...
Oh, that's right.
We had a lot of fun. Jason is a fantastic actor, a fantastic voice actor and performer, and Shakespearean actor and trained. So at the end of the shows, we always do a little... I like to give everybody something of us in character, and so we a lot of times pick from Shakespeare, or we'll pick from the classics, or I'll pick a classic movie. And so Jason does some stuff from Midsummer Night's Dream, and I said, I feel like Puck would be a great character for Lux. And I picked a scene, and he actually knows his Shakespeare, and he said, actually, why don't we do this? And he had another one, and he came in with it memorized, and he changed it all around to make these Star Wars references in it, and he just did a great job. So that one will be coming up after Sam Witwer, but Sam will be the next one, and I was hoping to have it done today, actually, but just not going to happen. Because again, everything you see at the JAT channel, as I call it, on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, it's youtube.com/user JAT actor, or James Arnold Taylor, I should say. Everything on my channel is written, produced, shot by me. And so it's kind of a one-man show. I have a couple of friends of mine that come over and help me record it sometimes. They'll run cameras. Andrew Heberlin and Matt Rowbottom, they run cameras for me, check sound if I'm interviewing people when we're doing the actual interviews. But the rest, I then take all that footage into my studio where I'm at here, and I cut it all up and put the music in and the graphics. And then I have Joe Hogan, who's a fantastic Star Wars artist. He's been designing the art for the Clone Wars Conversations. And so we have custom art to each conversation, which really makes it special. And so, but it's, so that's where I always ask for people's patience, because it is me just cutting this stuff when I can in my free time. So it's a labor of love, and it's a way of saying thank you to all of the wonderful Star Wars fans out there.
Yeah, I love that original artwork. I'm glad you didn't go with the already produced artwork, but you have something new to show the people, and I really love that style. It's almost like Forces of Destiny style.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's, you know, Joe is he's done a bunch of stuff for my one-man stage show, which I know you both have been kind enough to come out and see and such at Disney and all.
Love it. Love it.
And so he's done a lot of work for me there, and we originally met through a friend of ours, J.C. Reifenberg, who created the Hughes the Force fan film, and so we've known each other for quite a few years. And Joe is just a fantastic artist. His goal in life was to be a Star Wars artist, and he has now, of course, at this last celebration, was there with his original art and able to be there to sell that art and show people what he can do as a Star Wars artist. He has a very unique. A unique pen, as we'll say, you know, and I just love his work. So it's wonderful to have him featured on the show.
That's awesome. I love that. I love showcasing artists. I'm so glad you do that.
Oh, thanks.
And on Clone Wars Conversations, I know, you know, you've interviewed, like you mentioned, Anna Graves or Jim Cummings.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you two being Disney fans, yeah, you wouldn't be excited about Jim, right?
Yes, definitely.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. But we were getting so excited about what you're saying, you know, Sam Witwer coming up. So what are some surprises that you've learned from some of them that maybe you can share with us?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I think there's a couple things that come to mind. The first thing that comes to mind is everybody that comes on, it seems like one of the first things they talk about is when we recorded Clone Wars, Dave Filoni, the supervising director, would come into the booth, which was a very large room because, of course, we recorded as a cast. So all together, kind of in the round, like a half circle, all the mics would be put there, and we'd come in and just read the script, you know, beginning to end, live like that. And so Dave would come in and he would give us the whole story, and he'd set up the whole story of what was happening that day. If there were any guest stars, he would tell them what to expect, and you know, if they weren't Star Wars fans, I know, hard to believe, but he would just kind of give them that. So the fun thing has been getting all of their memories of that, as well as the parts that have stuck with them from Clone Wars. I think that's been kind of the coolest thing, learning how much it meant to everybody, and that it meant just as much to them, even if they were doing just a guest spot, as it did to all of us that were regularly involved with it. And, you know, of course, you both have been so involved with Disney and Star Wars for so long too, and following all this, and the fans of this, you know, we're all kind of like one big family. And so to find out that the other actors really felt that whenever they walked in the room, I think that's been kind of the most touching part of it, and the greatest, the coolest kind of part, to relive that, and that they all miss it as much as we do.
Yeah, there was a Jet vlog where you had your iPhone out and you were just recording everyone as they're waiting in the waiting room, and it just felt like a big family reunion. There's Ashley Eckstein over in the corner dancing, Stephen Stanton in the chair reading his stuff, and Matt Landry was like your little brother.
Yeah.
What a perfect family ambiance they create there in that studio.
Okay, this is kind of cool. I was going through some of my archives of old video files and such, and I stumbled across some old footage of Clone Wars home movies that I had taken when we were shooting the show. Actually, this was in season 4. So check out these home movies from Clone Wars. it actually makes me kind of sad watching this stuff, but it's also really cool. This shows you really kind of behind the scenes of what a family we all were there, and I thought it was appropriate here on Star Wars Month on my channel, so enjoy.
Right, okay. So here we are. What are we doing?
I was just telling her how this last episode...
But don't give anything away.
No, the one that already aired.
Okay.
That it was some of my favorite of her work ever.
Oh, right.
The adult Ahsoka flashbacks. Maybe adult Ahsoka and Padme. Is that even possible? I don't know. Right there, behind the camera.
Yeah.
I was having a hard time recording that episode, and James was standing on the other side of the room, and you calmed me down. I don't know if you remember.
I remember.
Gave me some pointers, and so I owe that performance to the one and only James.
Oh, well, come on. Thank you very much. Once again. I have no idea why you'd even be here today. You just coincidence, right? You're not...
roll out of bed and thought I'd come out.
You weren't doing anything, nothing for Star Wars, though, of course.
No, I'm doing a video game.
That's right.
It's the Daniel Logan video game. It's like Sims, but all New Zealanders. And all characters played by me.
That's right. D. Bradley Baker.
I'm going in.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the mission is today.
So now, the prep work is to be how many people today? Do we know?
I haven't seen the script, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. I just got my script, and I think I got about 4 or 5 lines every page. So
Yeah, I assume it's either just pickups or ADR, or just a couple of lines. In which case, they don't even bother to send me the script. I just walk in and do it.
I don't know. Today they're being a little secretive today.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I like that.
Don't show the script. Don't put the script on camera.
Fill them up.
James Arnold Taylor, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Let's do our
I feel
deep
compelled
voice.
to do my deep voice whenever I see you.
Of course. Me too. And Corey Burton, of course.
Well, here I am again.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's all talk in our big announcer voices.
in our announcer voices.
Yes. And Gary Anthony Williams in his big announcer voice. No, that's...
You Fred Flintstone?
No, yes.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How come Barney was always coming over?
Yeah.
You get mad at him. How come that is?
Well, you don't understand. He's kind of annoying, you see.
But y'all friends, right? You a friend?
Yeah, he's my buddy.
Man, he's my friend. I kick him in it. I will, Fred Flintstone.
I love how his eyes go out of focus.
I'm here with Stephen Stanton, who is the voice of a character that we had to kind of be quiet about for a while, right?
Right.
The voice of Tarkin.
The voice of Tarkin.
The young Tarkin.
The young Tarkin, who was played by Peter Cushing in the original, the first Star Wars movie.
So did you study him a lot?
I did. I got a bunch of reference material because they wanted them to sound younger. So I got some of the things that he had done earlier than Star Wars, like the Hammer films and Sherlock Holmes that he did on, I think it was the BBC.
So the lovely Nika Futterman is with us
today. You're working on something. We don't know what.
Oh, it's a secret?
Well, we can't say yet because that season 3 is running, but we're actually recording season 4 right now. So you're in the studio recording season 4. So you can't say anything about what you're actually recording today.
No.
But you can say about what you've recorded in the past.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay, good. So.
Let's see.
So,
do not say anything about the future, do not say anything about the future, do not say anything about the future. Okay, go.
So now, Ventress.
Yes.
We've seen a lot about Ventress this season, haven't we?
We have.
She's grown.
Still not enough, though, in my humble opinion.
Well, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that everyone out there saw the 3-episode.
The Night Sisters.
The Night Sisters.
Yes, you were wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But see, then there's something else that happens when you and then Corey Burton get in the room because you've got Count Dooku and Ventress, but you also have Zero the Hutt and Cy Snoodles.
Yeah.
Nobody would ever guess that Ventress and Cy Snoodles, the same person as Dooku and Zero are the same person.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and that's the great thing about being voice actors.
Many people living inside that noggin of yours.
And so do you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it is funny, that particular one. And for folks, if they haven't visited my YouTube channel yet or subscribed yet, I'm so flattered and grateful for people coming out and checking out the channel. It's got a bunch of different things. I mean, everything from the vlogs where it's just a day in the life of a voice actor taking you into the booth to me finding these old videos like that. And that was what it was, is I found this old footage. I was going through all my archives of videos and I'm like, wow, I've got to put this together as a vlog here, just showing what it was like, and to look back and see how that really was what it was. Every time we came in, we'd all be in the lobby there at the studio called LA Studios in Los Angeles here, right across the street from Universal Studios Hollywood. And we would record every episode there, and it was always just like this family reunion. Once you got there, it was like coming home for the holidays.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, I think it's just so funny seeing Ashley Eckstein just dancing around like you would think that she would dance around.
Yeah,
she was reenacting something she had done a few years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just hilarious.
She was, of course, Ashley and obviously Matt Lanter, very known for being on camera, but Ashley was an on-camera actor, and Catherine Tabor, and they all kind of were new to voice acting when they came to Clone Wars. And so Ashley was on a show called Blue Collar TV with Jeff
That's the
Foxworthy.
one, yeah.
And Gary Anthony Williams, who's in the video there with her. And they were reminiscing about a video that she did, a comedy bit she did with him, where she was dancing around singing Free Your Mind. And yeah, it was very funny.
To free your mind in black or white. Free your mind, and the rest will follow. 1, 2, wait, be colorblind. Don't be so shallow. Don't tell me you agree with me when I saw you picking dirt in my eye. That's my guy.
Very nice. Ashley Eckstein, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just,
Wow.
it's classic Ashley Eckstein.
Well, I know one of our Skywalkers, Jeremy Hunt, he is very excited that we're speaking to you.
Oh, I love Jeremy,
And Oh, good.
Everyone loves Jeremy.
I know. Well, he had a question for you. So here it is. If you could perfectly chart a successful path for the JAT channel, what would that look like, and what kind of content do you hope to be able to create in the future?
Wow. Boy, that's a big question, Jeremy. It's kind of an ever-changing question. I tend to... so this whole JAT channel thing was an experiment. About 18 months ago, when we moved into a new house and a new space, and I had been doing some work with again my friend J.C. Reifenberg. We had paired up and were renting a studio out in Burbank while I was in between finding a new home, because we were moving back from our hometown of Santa Barbara, and we were in a studio space there, and we were making these videos. We made the show a certain point of view and all that. And so I was like, oh, this is fun. And I thought I'd love to create a channel where my fans could kind of experience what it's like to be a voice actor, and to see kind of, my dear friend Tom Wilson has put it this way. He says, it's an unusual life, and we get to see things that not everybody gets to see, and we get to be put in these unusual circumstances as being character actors like this. So I thought, what a great way to do that through this channel. And so every day I kind of go, well, what can I do new for it? So I put the book out this year. That was the challenge, is can I make a video for every day of the year for something? And that's where since I wrote the book that was a daily thing for a whole year, I thought I'll make a video for it. And that was kind of a big endeavor. So when I shoot those, I shoot them in groups of 100. And so,
wow.
Yeah. So I sit down in my studio, or I stand up actually, and I hit record, and then I go and I read 100 pages, and then I take them back into the studio and I cut them up and I put them into these little things, and then I schedule them, and they all come out every morning at 6 a.m. Pacific time, 3 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. So, some people are annoyed by this notification they get every day. Why am I getting a new video? But so it's been this. So I've done that. Now I've done the vlogs, and now I'm creating this content like the Clone Wars Conversations and the JAT show and all of those things. And so I go, well, what's next for it all? What do I want to do with it? And I talked about doing like a Patreon account possibly and stuff. And then I thought, well, I don't know how much I want to do of that, because I always want it to be something that is just, something free for everybody. I don't want to feel like and I don't ever want it to end up feeling like I have to. And because it's a joy to do it, and it's fun to do it. And so I thought, as long as I kind of keep doing it this way, it will continue to be that, hopefully, for people and for me. And so what I would love to see eventually is I'm working on some other content. So each year kind of do a shift. So I'm going a very long way around to answer this question, but so this year the experiment was, I would build the new studio and to do these shows like the Clone Wars Conversation and the Jet shows and all the kind of the talk shows with my fellow voice actors and other actors and people in the business. Next year, I see doing more kind of original content that is actual, like entertainment, like fiction shows. I have one that I'm working on that I've written about 5 episodes of to do that will be shorts, web series stuff with Catherine Tabor, and it'll be a show called Unboxed. I actually have not mentioned this anywhere, so you're getting an exclusive here.
Wow.
It's called Unboxed, and it's about these 2 kind of goofy YouTubers that have an unboxing channel, and they don't realize that they're kind of idiots.
Oh no!
I love it. I love it already.
They take themselves a little too serious. Like, they feel that everything they're doing is extremely important. Unboxing, toys or what have you, whatever it is that they happen to get for free that they can unbox. So it's a parody show, and it's certainly not making fun of anyone in particular. It's my own kind of invention of just taking the ridiculous of everything. So that's what that's about. So that'll be coming next year. Plus, I am working on a version of my stage show, talking to myself as more of a kind of Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm day in the life, a real life vlog of my life that is not real. It's a hyper reality version of my life. And so that's again, I haven't mentioned that to anybody anywhere else either. So
wow,
if people really want to know what's going on, they're going to have to listen to your podcast.
Wow, I'm going to take that sound bite and put it out there. Thank you, James.
That's going to be my ringtone.
Yeah,
that's right. They must skywalk through Neverland to find out what's really going on the Jet channel. Yes.
I love the unboxing video because I don't get it. I don't get those videos.
We've even done some.
We've done some. It's like I still don't understand what we're doing here.
Yep.
It's kind of a strange little world that we're all in now, and that is the whole thing too. Is I never could have imagined as a voice actor all these years ago that I would have to be kind of seen by people. I spent the first part of my career making sure that nobody knew what I looked like because I was so judged by how I looked, and I couldn't be the voice of Fred Flintstone if I looked like Barney Rubble, which I do. So, it's like so now the world has shifted so much with all the technology and social media and YouTube and Hulu and Amazon and Netflix and all of this stuff, Vimeo, all these things that are out there. So it's a different world. And for voice actors to keep up, I think that's the most kind of, to take it on to the again, I'm Mr. Positive, but the kind of the negatives that have come from the world lately is, I think the worst part is Hollywood still doesn't get that voice actors actually are real actors and it's a craft. The beautiful thing is fans do. And they do more than ever before because of social media, because of things like Skywalking Through Neverland, where you are taken in and immersed into this through the podcast medium or through the vlogging and all of these different things that have allowed people into this world that they didn't get to know or see before. And so Hollywood needs to actually catch up, in my opinion, with what everybody else is doing. And so that's kind of where I'm at with the Jet channel too, is to kind of say, hey, everybody, here I am. The irony is, and this is again, a little exclusive here. I'm feeling very talkative. You guys got me on a good day.
Nice.
So in my Talking to Myself show, it's going to start, this first scene is going to start with the fact that, and this really happened, I was sitting in my agent's office, the hosting department for my agents. So I have a voice acting agents, agents that I go to, but they also are agents too, on camera actors and, celebrities and hosting and all these various things that people do. And so I was having a meeting with the hosting agents to see about all that, because I host things like Star Wars Weekends and Star Wars Celebration and all of that. And I have a show, a one-man show and all of these things. And the agents were dead serious, and they said to me, well, we can't really do anything with that, because if you are a reality star, somebody who is basically famous for being famous, then we could actually represent you and we could get you work. But because you're actually a real host that knows what they're doing, there's no work for you anymore. It's all changed. So that's kind of that's what we're up against. And then also as voice actors, we're up against, celebrities wanting to do our work, people that are new to it all wanting to do it. And I'm always excited to share about voice acting with people, but it is becoming harder and harder for voice actors to just do what they normally do because of all these new elements coming into play. So, it's a brave new world, and that's why I created the Chat channel. So.
And I think you're doing a bang-up job. And one of the things I love, I'm one of those people, I would love to, for a year, like jump into someone else's shoes and or live in a different country, just like learn about something else. So I love that your vlogs actually take us, even if you're not interested in voice acting, they take us behind the scenes.
Right.
And we see what you do and like if you wanted to be a voice actor. So I just think that's amazing. And I really want to thank you for doing that.
Yeah, especially the one where you were trying to voice match Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch. And I love the vulnerability of you just not being able to get it.
Right.
And you were admitting it, that it's like, you know what, sometimes the right person just can't get the right job done.
Right.
And I loved how honest you were about that. And you even said at the end, I tried and I didn't get the job.
First up, he's covering up his accent. He has an accent in this film, an American accent, but of course we know Benedict Cumberbatch is not American. Let's see what we can do.
Well, you think you see through me, do you? Well, you don't.
Well, you think you see through me, do you? Well, you don't.
But I see through you.
But I see through you.
I'm sure somebody else may get closer on this one. I'm pretty close, but there's some parts of it that, just aren't there. But anyways, I thought it'd be interesting to take you in and show you the behind the scenes of what it takes to do a voice double and how quick it is too. So all of this has been about 15 minutes total. So you got to learn quick, you got to hear quick. And this is a good example of it because Benedict's voice is one I've never tried to match before. So that's why I thought this was a good example to show you that, because people are always fascinated. What does it take to voice match? Well, now you know. Well, that's reality too, right? I can't show you all what it is to step into my shoes if I only show you all the jobs I book or because again, the preconceived notion is, oh, James, he's everywhere. I hear him on everything. And it's like, I always go, really? Because I'm not hearing me on much right now at all. Or, I love working and I love doing all of this, but it is as hard as ever for a regular, Jim Cummings or Frank Welker or any of these monsters in voice acting to get a job like anybody else, because that's reality. It's like you have to work for it no matter who you are or where you're at. The only place that it's different is celebrity, Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt, these folks, they have it maybe a little bit. George Clooney, that's a very small elite group of people. And voice actors are certainly, we are very fortunate and blessed to do what we do. That's not what I'm saying, but we don't get to make those same choices like everybody else. We don't get to call Disney and go, hey, I see you're making a new movie, put me in it. It just doesn't happen. So that's where I like showing that side of it. So I appreciate that you all appreciated that.
You had mentioned your hosting duties at Star Wars Celebration conventions, and the one thing that we heard all around Celebration Orlando was, where's James Arnold Taylor?
Oh, well, that's nice. I was very fortunate, very blessed to host the last two before this, the celebrations in America, obviously not the European ones. And then they decided to go a different direction this time. And I think that they probably also felt, with it being this kind of anniversary marker, that it would be good to have Warwick host. And Warwick is a dear friend of mine, and he's done a great job doing it in Europe and all. And so it was just it was a decision of Lucasfilm and Disney. It certainly wasn't my decision. I had thrown my hat in the ring, as I had every year in the past, and had all sorts of great new fun ideas that I was going to throw out there for them and stuff, and said, I'd be happy to host and would love to. But I think that they're making a shift. They're moving away from Clone Wars and stuff. Rebels is their push now in the animated world, and then on the on-camera world, it's the other stuff. Of course, the irony is that my voice is in Force Awakens and Rogue One and Rebels and all of those things too. So I'm still working in those worlds, but I'm not as big of a name as Warwick Davis is. And so I think that, some of that comes into play as well. And that's certainly not knocking anybody at all. I'm just giving you the honest truth that I think when they look at it from that side of things, the executive side of things, they look more so at, well, who do we know? And it's just like with films when they cast celebrities instead of voice actors. I think that they're looking at it from that dollar sense. They think that name recognition is extremely important. And again, that is, Warwick did a bang up job. And so I would have loved to have been there. I would have loved to be there in any capacity, but I wasn't invited this year. And I guess it's the only part of me that's like a vampire. I can't come unless I'm invited.
Well, you were
or like Maleficent.
Well.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yes, very good.
Well, you were definitely missed because
yes.
we heard everywhere. Where's James? Where's he today?
That's very nice. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Where am I?
And we missed you too.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're definitely welcome. And you're in Force Awakens, you're in Rogue One, and you're in Last Jedi, huh? What? Huh? Last Jedi? Are you in that one?
We'll just have to see now, won't we?
We're here now, won't we?
We'll just have to wait until those credits roll at the end for the additional voices and see what happens.
And then what part do you play in Han Solo? What do you do there?
Yeah, I have no idea. That would be wonderful, though, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I don't even know what the release date is or anything on that film. I mean, I can't imagine. They've got to be, a least a year out on that, right? On the new Han Solo.
May 25th, 2018.
Really, yeah. It's exciting stuff. How do you all take to this? I mean, for me, as a Star Wars fan, I'm torn with a new Star Wars film every year. As somebody that's worked in the world of Star Wars, I'm very excited for all my friends and people that work in it. But as a Star Wars fan, how do you take all of this content?
Well, it's now every 5 months because we'll get The Last Jedi in December, then Han Solo in May.
Yeah.
And then it'll be another year before we get Episode 9.
Right.
But I kind of miss the old days of the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy where it was 3 years between each film. That way we could build anticipation, and each film didn't seem like, oh yeah, here's another one, and it really felt that much more special, like an event, not just a movie opening, but an event.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, The Force Awakens just felt so special and so incredible, and those memories, I mean... so I do wish they'd slow down a little bit.
Yeah, knowing that they have Rebels and they have Forces of Destiny, and we can revisit the Clone Wars with Clone Wars conversations. Yeah. So there's so much in between. I wish they had done the maybe 2 years, a year and a half in between films. I think you wouldn't hear so much people grumbling, hey, that's way too much. Even though we're big fans, it's a little too much there, Disney.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and that's why I wanted to get your take, because I know you're both such avid Star Wars and Disney fans, and of course we love it all, but you don't ever want to reach that point where you're just like, it's just another day. I mean, there's that kind of whole thing with Star Wars weekends where now their catchphrase, when people say, why is there no Star Wars weekends? They say, well, it'll be Star Wars every day there, which is fabulous. That's wonderful. But at the same time, it's what made it magical was the waiting and the anticipation. I talk with Mark Hamill a lot about that anytime the two of us are together chatting about all this. And he loved that anticipation of things too. And so, that's why I always say, hey, Disney, we love what you're doing, but just remember, we don't want to oversaturate. Come on.
Yeah, it was so much fun waiting for the films and doing the campouts and meeting up friends that when the film finally got there, it's like, oh, we can wait another year.
Yeah.
Let's keep pushing this.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up, what do you think of Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland?
At Disneyland. See, here's where I'm showing you how out of it I am. Is that the name that they've come up with, or is that what's currently there where they're kind of integrating all the Star Wars things that you're talking? Because forgive my ignorance on it.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, it's not Star Wars Land anymore, but at Disneyland and Hollywood Studios, it will be Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
That's the name. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No
worries.
Apparently, you've been busy.
It's hard. You do kind of walk that line of trying to keep up and then also putting it away sometimes, so you're stepping away from it. And this year was kind of a year before Clone Wars Conversation started of kind of stepping away from some of the Star Wars things, because there was a lot of it was a tough time for my family, who, my daughter, for example, grew up going to Star Wars weekends. The first 7 years of her life or so was just covered in all these wonderful events, and then we kind of went away from all of that over this last year and a half, and so there's a little mourning in the Taylor home, so I stepped away from some of it, but it's all good, so I'm excited about the possibilities of it all. I think it's really neat. I've also, from insider stuff, knowing like what was planned before and knowing what they're doing now and all of that, it's like I'm torn, because there's some stuff that I heard about that was going to happen that is going to be different now, and I go, oh, that would have been fun, or but I think all of it will be a wonderful adventure for people. I just hope it's all where you really get immersed in it. I think that'll be the funnest part of it.
Yeah.
Well, will the Taylor family visit, and what do you want to be your story in there? Like, do you want to be a smuggler or a
Jedi Knight?
Yeah.
No, my dear, I would never be a smuggler. Please, I would be a Jedi Knight, I think. I would have to say that, wouldn't I? Yeah, I don't think there's a doubt that I would have to be a Jedi. Whether it be Master Plo Koon or Obi-Wan Kenobi or anyone else. It's going to be an adventure to see it all, and certainly we will be excited to see it. My daughter and my wife actually go to Disneyland quite often. We're out here in Los Angeles, but our biggest thing is missing all of our friends at Disney World, and we have so many friends there. Again, family that thank God for social media, because we stay so connected now all the time through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and such. But there's just a lot of people we miss. I think we miss the people more than we miss the actual place. But we love all Disney. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure in the spring of 2019 we're bound to run into you and your family, because we're gonna pretty much live at Galaxy's Edge.
That's wild. That's great. Yeah. Well, no, I'm sure you will. Absolutely.
All right, now, if any of you Skywalkers want nonstop entertainment, well, just go to the Jat YouTube channel to catch shows like Clone Wars Conversations, Jat 365.
A Day in the Life of a Voice Actor, and Jat Vlog. And did we miss any?
No, you did very good. There's, let's see, just go to youtube.com/user/James Arnold Taylor and you'll find it. Oh, I do have there's a new, for those Final Fantasy fans, a new feature called Tell Tidus a Tale. And Tidus was the character I played in Final Fantasy X, and he had this kind of infamous laughing scene with this really kind of over-the-top Gilbert Gottfried kind of laugh. And so now people can get a chance to send me a video via Twitter, or Instagram, or YouTube of them telling Tidus a joke, and then I cut them in to a little animation where they're actually telling this joke to Tidus, and at the end he'll either laugh or not laugh. You'll just have to see. So that just premiered yesterday on the channel, and there's more to come. I have a little homage to Obi-Wan Kenobi called A Moment with the Master, where there's some wise sayings from a Jedi-looking character that's on the channel. But I'm always coming up with new things to put out on the channel, and the new one will be. But right now, Clone Wars Conversations, and the latest one will be Sam Witwer coming soon. So yeah. But we've got for Clone Wars Conversations, we've got T.C. Carson coming up, of course, Mace Windu, Tom Kane, the voice of Yoda, and Yularen, and the announcer, and so many other characters. Nika Futterman, Ventress, will be coming up. We've got just a lot of, and again, Ashley and Matt and Dee all have agreed. And so, so all of you that are already subscribed to the channel, thank you. If you're considering checking it out, thank you so much for considering it. Check it out. Subscribe. I'm at about almost 30,000 subscribers now. My goal for the year would be 100,000 in a perfect world. But I'm just happy providing entertainment for people. So that's the thing.
Oh, and that you do. All right, James. Well, thank you very much. This has just been so exciting to talk to you once again.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's always a privilege. And, of course, Obi-Wan loves skywalking through Neverland.
Woohoo! I couldn't have anything better than that.
Now that's my ringtone.
And that's actually why I want to talk to you all. Every single person in this room has a dream that they have held on to, and sometimes you're going to let go of it. And I want to tell you right now, please, 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 please don't let go of your dream, okay? It's going to get hard. You're going to hit walls. You're going to get obstacles, but you can do it. If I can stand up here, 5'4", 112 pounds, soaking wet, and do a bunch of voices like Fred Flintstone, you can do whatever because you are all amazing. You have been created to be amazing, so do amazing things. You don't have to change the world. You have to change your world. And so if you've got friends here today, get your friends to be encouraged and encourage them back. You can just, you can do it. You can grab on to those dreams and take them and go with them in places you never have. And you're going to get hitting obstacles, okay? You're going to hit them. Use them to make you stronger. If this didn't happen, I wouldn't have been where I am now. I had to change my diet, my life, the water, everything I ate and drank. I had to change all of it. But you know what? I'm so much of a better person now for doing it, and I've learned so much more. So take those obstacles, embrace them, love them, cherish them, and make a better life for yourself and all the people around you. I know all of you can do it. And remember, you heard a lot of people here today, but it was all simply one man. One throat, but it was
many voices. You have been witness to the vocal daredevil, the magician of mimicry, the little guy with the big voice in the little padded room.
Talking to myself. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Shout-outs, Skywalker shout-outs. Which Skywalkers get props from here in Neverland? Who has tweeted out? Shout out. Who has photobombed? Shout out. Who has shared a post? Shout out.
Shout-outs, Skywalker shout-outs. It's so catchy.
Yes, it is.
I love it. So we're going to start out with shout-outs on Twitter. And I want to give a shout-out to @RebDiaz. That's Reb, Deazz. And they tweeted, "Thanks @RebelsChat and @SkywalkingPod. I was listening to your podcasts as I was crafting this afternoon. Time just flew by." So I was excited about that, so I responded. And Reb Diaz said, "Listen to Michael Kramer interview today. Really enjoyed Behind the Music of Freemaker Adventures."
That was a really fun interview.
Uh-huh.
You know what? We got a really nice message from Michael Kramer after he had heard the segment.
Uh-huh.
I want to go ahead and read this because I'm just so proud of this.
Okay.
This was a private message, but I'm sure he won't mind if we read this. Michael Kramer says, "Wow, you guys did such an amazing job editing this together. Definitely my best interview yet. Thanks again for having me on."
Aww.
And he's done a lot of interviews too.
Yeah, that's so lovely. Thank you, Michael Kramer. We're so happy to have you on, and yeah, I'd love to talk more music with you.
Yeah, we may see him in a couple of weeks at the John Williams concert.
That's right.
At the Hollywood Bowl on September the 1st.
Woohoo!
Don't worry, Skywalkers, we will bring you with us. I'm sure we're going to do some live recordings that night.
And a lot of Skywalkers will be there as well. So
Yeah.
we have a whole group of almost 50 people. It's amazing. All right, speaking of groups, in our Facebook group, we have so many lovely people in this group who like to share stories, plan meetups with each other, and also poke a little fun at each other, but it's all very family friendly. So Russell Flores
Who are they poking fun at now?
You, sweetie. Russell Flores posted a picture with this caption, "If Richard was a cat." And the picture is 2 cats, and they're standing in front of a display shelf. And on it are displayed all these cat toys. Very nice, very meticulous. And the black cat is saying to the white cat, "I never play with them, of course. I'm strictly a collector."
I don't see what's wrong with that. They're very smart cats.
All I know is I was alone, and I saw this come up in my feed, and I burst out laughing. And It takes a lot for something to get me to laugh out loud when I'm by myself.
I fail to see the humor in this.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what's on the top shelf?
It's so hilarious.
What's on the top shelf right over
Oh,
there?
it's a bunny.
It's a pink bunny.
It's a pink bunny that looks dead.
No, he's sleeping.
He is.
Still, I fail to see the humor.
Oh my gosh.
They're toys. They're meant to be looked at and put on a shelf.
It's a kitty. They want to play with the toys, unless the kitty's too old to play with the toys.
Those are vintage cat toys. They belong on a shelf.
They belong in a museum. All right. Well, if you guys want to join in the fun in our Facebook group, head over to Facebook and search Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group, and you can request to join because it's a closed group, and you will get 2 questions that will pop up, and you have to answer those questions.
Someone named Rachel had just asked to join the group, and she did. She did
answer the
questions. And when the question came up, why do you want to join? She said, I listened to your show and I hear about all the hubbub about this Facebook group, so I want in.
Yeah.
So Rachel, I hope you are hearing this, and if you are, welcome to the family.
Aww.
Now with that, let's finally play a Skywalker of the Week. Welcome back from vacation, Rob.
Missy Davis. Missy Davis. Missy Davis.
Thank you, Rob, and congratulations, Missy Davis. You are our Skywalker of the Week. You tune in all the time on our Facebook or YouTube Live. You're always commenting.
And we apologize that it's very, very long overdue.
Yes.
Our bad.
If you guys want to be Skywalker of the Week and get your very own jingle composed by Rob Dellinger, all you have to do is share the show in some fun way on social media, make a comment, say, oh my gosh, this was the greatest interview with whoever, and share it with everyone, because that's how this podcast grows. And that's how you guys grow with this family.
Someone said on Facebook, nice indie reference. That was yours.
Get to the chopper.
No. Oh, that who said that?
Yes.
Okay. But I'm still waiting.
That belongs in a museum?
Yeah. I'm still waiting for someone to get my Heathers reference from the beginning of the show.
I just remember Myriad. It was one of the things I had to learn in 5th grade. I had to learn like 10 words every week, 10 vocabulary words.
You know what? Let's find out who the real movie buffs are out there. Let us know on Twitter or Facebook what that reference could be from. Okay?
But it's in Heathers, right?
Yes, it's in Heathers. But we
Well,
want to know exactly where.
It's in a high school, so I'm surmising it's some word that they're
Give us the
learning.
quote, all right? There you go.
Okay.
That's the contest. That's the contest. Tweet at us with the quote from Heathers that uses the word myriad. And we will announce your name next week. Maybe next week we can announce them as a Skywalker of the Week.
Maybe, if it's soon enough.
Yeah, if you get it to us by Sunday. Even though you have already been a Skywalker of the Week, you'll get a second jingle if you are the first one to tweet at us with the right answer.
Whoa.
And if you already have a Skywalker of the Week, then you'll get a second one.
Oh my god, and then you'd be the first person to do that.
I know. History being made. All right, now let's talk about the casting choices for Disney's upcoming Aladdin live-action feature that set the audiences ablaze at Disney's D23 Expo. And our good friend Swara Salih, he had a few things to say, so he's going to be joining us. Now, we want to hear from you Skywalkers as well. What do you think of these casting choices for Jasmine, Aladdin, and the Genie?
And Jafar, which was announced this past week.
Very true. And the Genie. Gonna leave that one right here.
It's a whole new world. Disney finally announces their live-action Aladdin cast, and naturally, the internet has some thoughts.
You may not know this, but there was and still is a lot of controversy surrounding casting Naomi Scott as Jasmine.
One Twitter user tweeted, quote, "I don't love the brown people are interchangeable idea that Hollywood believes in, so it's a no from me, LMAO."
Now, there's a little bit of controversy surrounding his casting because he's Egyptian. Some people say, like, why didn't you cast somebody Indian?
Disney has been on a hot streak with their live-action adaptations of their animated films. Casting has been pretty much spot on However, the casting for Aladdin, the new live-action film, has stirred some controversy.
Here now to weigh in with his thoughts about those playing Aladdin and Jasmine is Swara Salih from the Beltway Banthas Podcast.
Hey, Swara!
Hey, Skywalkers, how are y'all doing?
We're better now. We were really interested when you had messaged us saying you had some thoughts about this casting, because I don't know about this.
Yeah, pretty much right after it was announced at D23, we were getting messages from Swara.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, Swara's got a few things to say, and as we all know, Disney went to great lengths to search the planet, looking at over 2,000 hopefuls to find the culturally appropriate actors for their live-action Aladdin film. Finally, the role of Aladdin went to Mena Massoud, a Canadian Egyptian, and Naomi Scott, who is British and Indian heritage, to play Jasmine. Now, Swara, I know this kind of bothered you. Tell us what your thoughts were on the casting choices here.
Well, first off, thank you both so much for having me on to discuss this. I think it's an issue that needs discussion. And, I'd just like to let the listeners know it's not that I'm necessarily upset about this casting, but rather that I think it opens a wider conversation about, quote, proper representation. Now, I am personally very happy about Mena Massoud. He's an actor of Egyptian descent, an actual Arab actor playing Aladdin. And I am actually also a big fan of Naomi Scott. She was fantastic in Power Rangers. She also has a fantastic voice. I highly recommend the listeners to check out her EPs. She has great range, great power in her voice. I think she'll make an amazing Jasmine. But the thing is, Aladdin is set in Arabia, ancient Arabia. The song that opens the movie is Arabian Nights. And thing is, me having lived in the Middle East for a couple of years, I lived in Jordan for 3 years in high school. I know so many amazing, talented Arab girls and women who can sing well, who can act really well. And this seems, now I just want, again, I guess I just want to say, I'm happy that they did get an actress of color to play Jasmine, but it isn't, I would have loved to see Jasmine be played by an Arab actress at the same time. So I think that's where my particular issue really lies. And just let our listeners know, I'm not Arab myself. I am Kurdish, which is related to Indian, Iranian, we're an Indo-European people. But again, I have a lot of Arab friends and I am from the Middle East. And I suppose I would like I'm originally from the Middle East and I would like to see that, more properly represented.
Okay.
Yeah, this issue has been going back through, last decades to the 1920s where actors would be in blackface. And it's like, come on, you couldn't find any African Americans to play this role? Mm-hmm. That's to the extreme. Now we come here to Aladdin and Jasmine, and the fact that Mena is Canadian Egyptian.
Well, it just means that his family is Egyptian. His parents are from Egypt and they immigrated to Canada. And he's an Arab actor who is, actually, he, I think, was born in Egypt first, but then as a baby moved to Canada. So, he is actually Arab. He actually does represent the race that Aladdin actually is, which is great.
That just are two different cultures that I've never heard together. Canadian and Egyptian. So now, I know Aladdin means something to you in specific. So tell us a little bit about your background with this film.
Sure. I'm a Disney child. I love so many Disney movies, still do. But Aladdin has my top two Disney films are The Lion King and Aladdin. Aladdin, because I love the songs, I love the setting, but also, Aladdin and Jasmine matter a lot to me personally. I'm a brown person whose family hails from the Middle East, from the same region that Aladdin and Jasmine are from. Aladdin was actually originally meant to be set in Baghdad, Iraq. But because of political tension at the time, the animators decided to make it in this new Arabian world with some Indian elements and some Persian elements in there called Agrabah. There's an Indian city called Agra, and they took the ba out of Baghdad and kind of squished that together. Yeah. But yeah, it does still mean a lot to me, seeing a hero like Aladdin and Jasmine, seeing people who look like me with the same dark skin and brown eyes and black hair, and not just like representing me, but representing a lot of brown people in an amazing tale about courage, about being honest, about being true to yourself, but at the same time still being cunning and being able to trick the bad guy while having fun with that as well. And I think Aladdin is genuinely one of the greatest animated features that Disney has ever come out with. I will say that I don't think Aladdin is necessarily the best cultural depiction of the Middle East, maybe, especially at the time of its release. But still, it's like it is still representation, and I still applaud Disney for creating something that Arab and other Middle Eastern people, like people of my generation, can look up to and have really loved for so many years.
Well, that is important, and I know representation matters is a hashtag that we've used and that's been going around. But here's a hard question for you. What do you think is more important, finding an actor or actress who can sing and look the part, or having accurate ethnic casting?
So I think that this really ties into what Disney was going through with Richard. You mentioned like them casting or like looking at over 2,000 people to potentially cast for the role. And I do genuinely believe Disney made a sincere effort by looking at, and they said explicitly they were looking at both actors of Middle Eastern and Indian descent for casting Aladdin and Jasmine. And I will say that, I love Disney as a company. I genuinely believe that they did seek to cast an Arab actress primarily as Jasmine. But I also think, so here's the thing. Mena Massoud is a complete unknown. That's something Disney said they were going to do. But Naomi Scott, even though she is relatively new, is an established actress. She carries with her a large following. For example, she has hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter. She's already been in a major blockbuster like Power Rangers and in other films. She's actually been with Disney UK for years. She's been on a TV show for Disney Channel UK. She's been in this one Disney Channel original film. And so she has that connection. Yeah, and she carries with her that Disney following. And she is a brown actress of color. Her mother is Gujarati Indian. And like I said, she's very talented and she carries that large following with her. So it doesn't, I don't think it's such a stretch to imagine that Disney, playing, the business game side of things, thought, oh, here's an actress who's very talented, who does look like Jasmine. And even though she's not Arab, she's Indian. Who can bring that following in. And so I think it's difficult because here's the thing is, when Naomi Scott was announced to be cast, my first feeling, I'll just tell you now, was relief. I was relieved that Disney did not whitewash the role, because this is something that we've seen in the past century with many films. And Richard, you mentioned what they were doing in the 1920s. Thankfully, we're so far past that, but still, we see so many instances of, white actors playing like ethnic roles. And again, my first feeling was relief that they didn't do this with Jasmine, who is like such a amazing inspiration to women and girls of color. Like, I've talked with non-Arab friends of mine who are girls and women who have always been inspired by Jasmine, who genuinely love her. So you see, it's sort of a mixed bag with me. It's like I am grateful for this furthering of brown representation, but still wish that Disney was able to go the extra, like have it like still be properly an Arab actress to like be inspirational for those Arab friends of mine I was mentioning before.
Well, I can't remember where I heard this, but I know it was like near D23 Expo, and I know that they mentioned that they had such a hard time finding Jasmine and Aladdin because maybe they thought they found a Jasmine, but then the Aladdin they thought they found, they wouldn't have good chemistry. And so the chemistry of the two of them had a lot to do with nailing down both of them. Because I think at any given time they had one or the other nailed down, and then it just didn't work.
Which is why George Lucas had 3 sets of Han, Luke's, and Leia's.
Yeah.
just to make sure they all connected with one another. And yeah, it does have a lot to do with chemistry. And I'm sure at some point on the DVD extras, we're going to see the bonus features of the two of them rehearsing together, like we saw with the Phantom Menace and the pairing of Natalie Portman into all the Anakin Skywalkers.
Yeah, and I think they also had at one point Bodhi Rook.
Riz Ahmed.
No. Possibly.
Under consideration.
Yes.
I actually don't think that. I think that was a rumor. I think I mean, no offense to Riz Ahmed, I love him, but you're a little old to be playing Aladdin, who's like a late teenager. But no, Sarah, Richard, you're absolutely right. That was absolutely a key thing that Disney executives were looking at, the chemistry. Because, I mean, I'll just say this, Aladdin and Jasmine are my favorite Disney couple. I think they have the richest chemistry. I think they have the deepest connection in both of their yearnings for freedom from their particular states. And what's so great about A Whole New World is about them discovering this whole new world together. I'll just say what I love about that so much is that Jasmine is trying to escape from marriage because she doesn't want anyone to keep her in a cage like a bird. She doesn't want anyone to contain her. But Aladdin, as Prince Ali, he shows that, hey, I'm not here to do that to you. I'm here to explore the world with you. I'm here to, get you out of like any cage anyone is going to try to put you in, because we deserve to see the world together. That's what A Whole New World is about, and why it's one of the best Disney songs of all time.
No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Now I'm in a whole new world.
It's my favorite to sing, actually. I love it.
It's so good. So good.
Now, this is an interesting fact that I dug up, and I know it's been out there, so I didn't discover this. But while doing research on this, I found that Aladdin is taken from the story 1001 Nights. Okay, we all knew that. But what I didn't know is it was set in China. Now, I went to the almighty internet to ask why the location changed to the Middle East, and found this answer, which I thought was very interesting. The original story does technically make Aladdin a Chinese. All right, stop the presses right there. But China is clearly just a stand-in for some faraway exotic country, as it would be to people in the Middle East in medieval times. The China of the original fairy tale is presented as a Muslim country where people are ruled by a sultan and everyone has an Arabic name. The author of the original tale presumably knew very little about the real China. Well, apparently. He imposed Arabic culture and language on it and probably imagined the inhabitants to look like Arabs as well. But now, to add one more little wrinkle to this location shuffle, Aladdin and Jasmine are found at the Moroccan Pavilion at Epcot. So nice. I guess it's one of those tales that just stretch the boundaries. But I think it's really funny that it was set in China, just because the author thought, no, who's gonna know?
Right.
No one's gonna check this on the internet.
Back then, I guess, because that was written, centuries and centuries ago.
Yeah, just one of many, many stories in Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what 1001 Nights is. It's an amalgamation of various tales from Persia, from India, from China, from the Middle East, like Arabia, maybe even Kurds, like my people, like had a role in putting some tales in there. It was from Northern Africa. It's a real amalgamation, just combination from everywhere, like that was considered the East, and it was compiled in, I want to say, like the 1300s, by Arabs or maybe the Persian empires, and then later on by Western authors as well. And that's where the tale of Aladdin originally became famous, like in Western media, through that Western retelling, and then eventually became, Aladdin as we know from Disney.
So now, knowing all of this, does it help with the casting choices that the actors are from different parts and not necessarily from the Middle East? Does it help you, Swara?
So, honestly, I will say no, because I think that, Disney made it explicitly clear that Aladdin, their film, is set somewhere in Arabia. The opening song to Aladdin is Arabian Nights. I don't know why they would place that maybe in India or Persia or China. I mean, why don't they say Persian Nights? Why wouldn't they say Chinese Nights? Why wouldn't they say Indian Nights? It's Arabian Nights. And I really genuinely
because it had 4
feel
syllables. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, maybe this is going to be a reboot, and they're not going to necessarily zero in on Middle East.
Well, but here's the thing. The thing is, we are still getting mostly Arab actors for this film. Actually, just today, I don't know if you all saw, they cast Jafar. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, they cast Jafar. The actor is Marwan Kenzari. He's an actor of Tunisian descent, another Arab. And, so it's like mostly actors across the Arab world so far. I mean, at least just with Aladdin and Jafar, but still 2 of the major prominent roles.
But not the genie.
But not the genie. Yeah, the genie is being played by Will Smith. Yeah.
All right, now, if you want to get into casting faux pas, we can talk about that right now.
Sure, why not?
Will, this is not going to be something that they're going to nominate you for, okay? Everything he does now, it's like, well, I can only do it if I'm going to be nominated for something.
Oh, that's funny.
When we heard that at D23, I think our whole section went, really?
Well, I mean, it's interesting because no one's ever going to top Robin Williams.
No,
and
not
so
ever.
To try to cast a comedian or someone who could try to emulate that, I think would have been a mistake as well. So
I agree.
Well, it's like Heath Ledger playing the Joker. His biggest mistake would have been trying to do the Jack Nicholson Joker, so he took his own direction for it. But still, if they came to you, Swara, and said, "Give me your top 1,000 picks for the genie," where would Will Smith lie?
Honestly, Richard, don't judge me here, but I'm actually okay with this. I'm actually kind of looking forward to Will Smith as the genie. At first, I thought, I was sort of neutral on it, but then I started warming up to the idea. I've enjoyed Will Smith movies all my life. I have one of my best friends is actually super, super into Will Smith and is looking forward to seeing that. And I think with the role of the genie, so here's the thing. In the original Aladdin, Robin Williams was the genie. He was improvising every other minute, and really the animators were drawing to keep up with his improvisations. He literally created that character down right to the imagination, animation. So I feel really okay with it because, I mean, it just feels like it's meant to be a completely entertaining role with the genie. And while I certainly do think that you could get that from an actor in the Arab world or from the Middle East, I think the name recognition of Will Smith will help the film a lot. And I'm glad for that because a genie or jinn in original Arabic, they're supernatural creatures. They don't ascribe to any sort of specific race except, their own, of the jinn. I'm going to give you a little religious lesson here. In Islam, it says that God created the angels, the humans, and the jinn. The jinn are actually in between, heaven and earth. They're in their own realm, and they're actually beings made of fire. And it turns out in 1001 Nights that, it was said they could grant wishes as well, and being caught in objects and stuff. So that's the origin of that. And so, with Will Smith, I'm actually really fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah. They heard that Kevin Hart had passed on it. I love Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart would have been funny.
Yeah, it would have been fun, but and I love Robin Williams as the genie, but Robin Williams wasn't the genie. Robin Williams was Robin Williams voicing the genie.
Meh. He was the genie. He was perfect.
Just like Jack Nicholson.
He was perfect.
Wasn't even acting like the Joker. That's just Jack Nicholson. And Robin Williams, believe me, it worked. It worked 1,000,000,000%. No one's going to argue that.
Yeah, because...
However, he was just Robin Williams.
Yeah, but still, I know, Richard, I really genuinely believe this. Like, he was the genie. He made everything amazing what Genie is. Genie is my favorite character out of Aladdin, and I just thank Robin Williams like every day for making my childhood so memorable, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not just saying this because we just spoke to James Arnold Taylor right before you, but I'm gonna throw in the name James Arnold Taylor for any kind of recasting.
Oh, interesting.
James, you know what? Let's just go with James Arnold Taylor.
Huh.
You know what? Let's just put him for Aladdin and Jasmine. Man can do no wrong.
Oh my god.
Okay, maybe I was pushing it right there. Okay.
It's okay. I know you're joking.
Yeah, but for the Genie, I think James Arnold could have really nailed it in a way that I like Will Smith. I loved him in The Fresh Prince up to Men in Black, but everything after that, he's just gotten too heavy-handed.
I see. Totally. So you're just like concerned whether or not he's going to be able to bring that levity to Genie in the live action.
Like, he needs to be Will Smith from Independence Day, like kind of all over the place. The guy, like, he was my favorite character in that movie almost, just because he's so likable.
Do like a 180 from Robin Williams.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. And actually, if someone asked me, who do you think would be the Genie? I don't know what I'd say.
Like, you would say James Arnold Taylor.
No, well, I'd honestly, I'd have to think about it.
You know what? Okay, let's go a different direction here. Ashley Eckstein. Why not cast a female?
Oh yeah, why can't you gender bend the Genie? That would be awesome. I would love that.
You know what? Mic drop. Ashley, you're welcome.
I do just want to say one other thing. I just the reason why we're having this conversation, why, this accuracy of the casting, why it matters to me, why it matters to a lot of people. I really just want to go back to this just one more time. The Arab girls, the Arab boys, people from the Middle East, really, in this millennial generation who've grown up with Aladdin, I think particularly with Princess Jasmine, and I've seen a lot of reaction of this online, they were really seeking to see one of themselves represented on screen, someone of their own culture, someone who not only looked like them, but they could relate to in terms of background and upbringing in being cast in the role of Jasmine. And while, again, I love Naomi Scott, I think she's going to make a fantastic Jasmine. I just, I know a lot of my friends from the Middle East or of Middle Eastern descent are disappointed. And I think it's important to simply acknowledge that and see how we can still do better in the future with casting. But otherwise, I am very much looking forward to seeing Aladdin. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think, again, Naomi Scott's going to make an amazing, powerfully singing Jasmine who's going to really rock the house with it. And again, I'm looking forward to the film.
Yeah, you had touched on this a little bit earlier, Swara, but I think it's more of a business decision. If this had been an independent film, you would have gotten a culturally accurate cast. But seeing they may have had some contractual things with these actors, with the agents, with the record companies. You never know what's behind the scenes about why people are cast. But with a company like Disney, I think most of the decisions are corporate.
Yeah, Disney is a business. It is.
Disney is a business, yeah.
And if they want to get one recognizable faces that the kids will know, I can see them going, okay, she was just in the Power Ranger movie. It didn't set the box office on fire, but she does now have a recognizable face. So let's go with this.
Totally, 100%. And yeah, I absolutely do understand it. And I just think that's good, almost good about that actually is good about Naomi Scott's casting is that it has opened the door for this conversation. And hopefully when, corporate executives do go about casting for other films set places outside of the Western world, they can hopefully find something that's more accurate, as I was saying. And the other thing is, how many famous Arab female singers can you name? There aren't that many in the Western world, unfortunately.
Right. Now, before we wrap this up, was Jasmine the first princess of color?
I think
she was
so.
before
Yeah.
Tiana.
Well, that
yeah, it was way before
and she was
Tiana. Yeah,
before
this is
Mulan as
92.
well. She was before
Yes.
Mulan as well. So yeah.
Yeah,
Jasmine was. Yeah,
that's great that they started to undo all the whitewashing, and finally we can get the kids playing with dolls that look like themselves.
100%. Yeah, just like I was saying, I've got so many brown friends of mine who are girls, women who like all love Jasmine, and she means a lot to them.
Yeah. And I'm so glad we're seeing so many different cultures with all Disney films, whether it be Star Wars films, the Disney princess films, hopefully, even with Marvel films with Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing
Right.
a big change, and
That's going to be amazing. I can't wait for Black Panther.
So we can all thank Disney.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I do. I love the strides Disney has been making in terms of representation. And in particular, I talked about this with you guys before, feminism and like casting in The Force Awakens and Rogue One and in Disney films themselves. Like one of my favorite films of recent memory is Moana. I mean, like very prominent female character of color and played by someone from Hawaii, actually. So, Disney has been making amazing strides, and I absolutely do applaud them. And I just love Disney more for that.
I think we're well on our way. Not as fast as some people would think, but you know what? We're making strides.
I think so too. I'm very happy to see it.
Well, thank you, Swara, for coming on and sharing your thoughts with us. We really appreciated it and enlightening us.
Thank you so much for having me on. I heartily appreciate it, and y'all have a great day, okay?
Of course. And before you go, can you tell our Skywalkers where to find you and Beltway Banthas?
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget the plugs? All right, so y'all can find me on Twitter at Swara Salih1. That's SWARASALIH1. You can follow my co-host Stephen Kent at Stephen_Kent89. That's Stephen with a PH. You can follow Beltway Banthas at Beltway Banthas. We cover everything from the realm of Star Wars, politics, and pop culture. And actually, our most recent episode was on this very topic we were talking about right now, race and representation and how we go about discussing it. And another plug, I run a Facebook group called Sounds from a Galaxy Far, Far Away, in which we discuss Star Wars, music, and everything in between. Just request to join. I'll add you, and those are all my plugs.
Nice.
Done and done.
Thank you once again, Swara.
To opening us up to a whole new world.
But now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Everyone!
That wraps up episode 180 of
Skywalking Through Neverland.
We would like to give a warm thank you to James Arnold Taylor, Swara Salih, Alan R. Ryan, and all of you Skywalkers who listen every week. And if this is your first show, welcome. Welcome, everyone.
Now, we want to welcome you over there to RetroZap.com, where you can find awesome podcasts such as Brews and Blasters,
Beltway Banthas,
The Deucecast Movie Show,
Starship Sabers and Scoundrels,
Techno Retro Dads, and Talking Apes TV. Now, I know we said we were going to go on a hiatus, but an interview just fell in our laps.
Oh!
For Talking Apes, and once we can nail that down, we'll be releasing a mini episode.
Excellent.
So can't wait for that.
And
Not gonna say who it is just yet, just in case.
Okay. And I want to give a reminder to everyone who's perhaps watching or listening to this on YouTube. Please give this video a like and our YouTube channel a subscribe. Once again, want to get to 1,000, and we have over 800 subscribers, which is pretty cool. So everyone just keep sharing that YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. And once again, you can subscribe at youtube.com/skywalkingthrough-neverland.
You know what I'm gonna share right now?
What?
I'm gonna share that our good friend Matt Clifton just joined us on Facebook.
Yay!
Matt, it's 1 a.m. What are you doing? He's a night owl.
Yes.
Well, if people want to get a hold of us on social media, Sarah, what do they do?
Well, we are at Skywalking Pod for Twitter and Instagram. Richard, you on Twitter are at Sith Rich.
Mm-hmm.
I am on Twitter and Instagram at Jedi Tink. Now be careful, because on my Instagram and Twitter, I am sharing lots of pictures of my Forces of Destiny dolls. They're so much fun, and they keep on, every time I walk in the room, they're like in different positions or trying on different outfits. I don't know what's happening. Or they're meeting with other little toys in my room. So
it's like Trilogy of Terror.
No.
Oh, so who can get that reference? Trilogy of Terror.
I don't know, but it's not terror at all. It's awesome. Okay, it's so cool. Okay, I love that.
Some people are foodies. You're dollies. People take pictures of the
Right,
food.
I get it.
And you take pictures of your dolls.
I take pictures of food too.
Yes, you do.
And Skywalker selfies.
You're a foodie dolly selfie.
And once again, reminder to join our Facebook group. So just search Facebook and request to join and answer those questions, or we won't let you in.
You can also join us over there at jedinews.co.uk, or you can hop on over there to iTunes and leave us a review.
Yay!
Not going to tell you to leave a 5-star, you leave a 4-star, you leave whatever you like, and just tell us what you think about the show. We always love to hear from you, Skywalkers.
Now, before you go, don't fast forward through this part because you can stay tuned to hear bits of conversation that didn't make it into the show, or even some fun bloopers, or some almost #Sarah swears. Who knows?
And some pre-conversation that we had with James Arnold Taylor before we got into the show.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of fun stuff.
So have a great week, Skywalkers, and always remember...
Neverland on Alderaan.
Some imagination, huh?
To our Skywalkers and Tweetwalkers, thanks for listening. Skywalking Through Neverland is created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Original music by Rob Dellinger. Creative consultant Mark Augushowitz. Technical advisor Peter Heitman. Facebook administrators Donald Wicks, Joey Pittman, and Norma Heitman.
Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, and clips played during this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is property of Skywalking Through Neverland, all rights reserved. Sorry, had to be said. For those of you just joining us, we're going to do another take on our opening.
Okay. We have 5 hours of recording time.
I'll be asleep in 5 hours.
Yes, you will. Okay, are we ready?
And, of course, Obi-Wan loves Skywalking Through Neverland.
Woohoo! I couldn't have anything better than that.
Now, that's my ringtone.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yay!
There we have it, everyone.
All right, guys. Well,
So
I don't know
for
if the video was...
Chris Sequel and Matt Clifton, since
And
you guys
Christopher
came in
Marino.
late, we did the opening just for you.
Yeah. But now... Okay, so I'm going to stop
it.
Be careful, because at Jedi Tink, I'm sharing lots of pictures of my Forces of Destiny dolls. Bleh. Now, be careful.
That mine was better. Hey,
No,
Chris
mine
Sequel
was
just
better.
joined.
I saw that.
Hey,
He
Chris.
joined right now, and we're going to say goodbye.